going to the digital SLR boom. This is actually a digital digital SLR. This is a 20D. This is my backup camera actually. This is an 8 megapixel camera, same thing as my point and shoot. The difference is obviously this is a single lens reflex camera, which is an SLR. Basically, but it does have a 1.6 crop versus a full framed camera. The difference between a full framed and a 1.6 is like, say for instance, a lens that's supposed to be like, say I have a 28 to 135 right here, right? You take the 1.6 crop, and this actually makes this lens a lot longer than what it should be. This is an actual IS lens as well that I used to use for this camera. I put the kit lens back on it because I'm trying to sell this particular model, because I wanted to get a 50D, which is the bigger brother to this guy. But the camera that I use, I'll talk about next. This uses compact flash cards. It doesn't use SD. They're a little bit bigger. They're not too terribly expensive at all. You can get them up to 8 gigs as well. But with an SLR, you're going to get a lot more freedom. You have a lot more choice to do what you want with it. You're going to get a better quality picture, mainly because of the fact that it's, you can change the lens, versus on a point and shoot you can't really change the lens. And I'll show you the camera I actually use. This is a Canon. All my cameras are Canons, by the way. This is a Canon XSI. I bought this a while back. It has a 17-55 IS/USM lens on it, which is a 2.8, which is a fast lens, good for shooting without flash, because obviously, as I said earlier, I hate shooting with flash. It uses SD cards. That's why I have the 8 gig sitting here that's not opened yet. It's for this particular camera. And again, it has this, as you can tell, this is a little bit bigger screen from the 20D. The 20D is smaller. This is actually a 10 times better camera than the 20D is. This is a 12 megapixel camera versus an 8 megapixel camera. Now you're going to get 4 megapixels more than what you would get with the 20D. And actually, this camera is not too terribly expensive. Runs about $800 US side. But I mean, at the time between this one and the step-up model, this camera had a lot more features to it, which is the sensor cleaning on it and so on. And I liked the feel of this camera versus on the what would be now known as the 40D. The 50D is the next step up from that, which is its sister model. Now the difference between the two SLRs obviously is the megapixel count. And one of the questions was what's the difference in megapixel counts? Now, the higher megapixel count is going to give you it's going to give you a bigger picture. Obviously, it's going to have more pixels per shot. Now, the quality of the shot depends on the lens you use. It's not necessarily just because of the camera. The lens you use as, like this quality, this 17-55 lens is actually equivalent to an L series lens that Canon makes, because it's a very expensive lens. The lens itself runs about $1,000. Alone for that particular lens, because it is a very fast lens for shooting, shots indoors and so on. The quality obviously is determined by the lens and obviously by the shooter. And the fact that I use IS, because I love having an IS on the lens, because when I'm shooting, I don't like to have to worry about using flash. And when it comes to a megapixel count, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. If you're going to go with a point and shoot, an 8 megapixel or 7 megapixel, you're going to be fine if you're just doing 5x7s or 8x10s. If you're doing web shots, 8 megapixels is far more than enough for you. Everything else, besides the quality of the shot, is determined on what you want to do with it. It's determined on what you want to do with it post-processing wise on your computer, whether you use Aperture or use Photoshop. That's determined by you yourself. How creative you want to be, it also is determined by you yourself. It's all up to you and what you want to do. It's your call. You are the one in control when it comes to photography. You got to pick out the type of camera and unit that you want, either a Nikon or a Canon, what you're more comfortable with, what you feel you like to see the picture, the quality. Depends on what you're used to, and how much you really want to spend too. So, all in all, the megapixel count and the camera, the features, it's all what you want. If you want to point and shoot something to carry around with you, then go with a point and shoot. Something with an IS though, because then you don't have to worry so much about the flash photography. If you want something a little bit more creative and you want to step up in the world of photography and you want something that's going to last a little bit longer, go with an SLR. I recommend, like I said, I recommend Canons because I've not had a problem with them. Canon makes a step-down model to this. It's called the XS. It's actually a little bit cheaper. I think it runs about $500. This is the XSI. And then you can go up and get a 50D if you want. And they actually have a model that's a step up with a full frame, which gives you the full frame, and you can use all the L series lenses on them, which is called the 5D Mark II, which is a 22 megapixel camera. That's a whole nother world, and that runs about $3,000. But if you got the bread, it's all up to you. It's what you want to spend and what you're looking for. It's the type of features you want, and basically what you want to do with it. And that's my review and my explanation of digital photography. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything you want to say, please put it in the comment bar or comments down below. Or you can look at my page. You can send me a message on AIM. You can send me a message on iChat, which is what I use on my Mac. Or I have Skype as well. Or send me an email. I'd be more than happy to talk with you about any type of thing, anything that has to do with photography, or any type of electronics that I may have, my iPhone, my iPods, my video cameras, or computers. I'd be more than happy to, explain what I may know to you, and feel free. Other than that, as I say in every video, stay safe online and in the real world. Take care of yourself. I'm now going to go have some hot chocolate. Later.